Okay, so would you introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
Good morning. My name is Eric Moore, DOC number 475706.
Mr. Moore, let me explain our process to you. I'm going to read some information into the record, and then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow those participants who've indicated they wish to speak to have their input. Speaking today on your behalf is a friend, Mr. Eddie Moore. Well, three friends, Mr. Eddie Moore, Ms. Dana Bickham, and Mr. Douglas Delaney. Jim Williams, your attorney, is also here. Speaking in opposition is Mr. Randy Meyer with the District Attorney's Office in Jefferson Parish. Ms. Nancy Norman and Mr. Rodney Norman will be speaking today. At the end of that hearing, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. Do you understand our procedure, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Eric Moore, DOC number, excuse me, 475706, date of birth, August the 4th of 1979. He is a fourth class felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of November the 24th of 2023. He is not eligible for good time. He has a full-time release date of November the 25th of 2038. He is currently serving a 20-year sentence on the charges of 3 counts of simple burglary, one of which having been adjudicated a habitual offender, and illegal possession of stolen things, having been sentenced in all of those occasions on February the 8th of 2022. Mr. Moore, is that information accurate?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, your case has been assigned to Mr. Pete Freeman. Would you please answer any questions he may have? Thank you.
Yes.
How old are you, Mr. Moore?
43, sir.
Okay, and how long have you served on this sentence?
I've been in jail 4 years and 8 months.
I see that you had a disciplinary write-up. What was that about in 2023?
I never had a disciplinary write-up, sir.
Why were you moved for disciplinary reasons?
That's just what they annotated on there. I never had a disciplinary write-up, sir. Never.
Is that true, Franklin?
Mr. Franklin, him right?
Yeah, who is, I think you need to give him your headphone.
Good morning again, gentlemen.
Has he had any disciplinary write-ups? We have a record that would suggest he had a disciplinary write-up on his record. Has he had any disciplinary write-ups?
As of here at the Franklin Parish, sir, I'm not aware of any disciplinary write-ups here.
What was the date, Pete?
2/8/23.
That was back in February.
How long has he been in Franklin?
I've got here on I want to say the 6th of February.
You said the 6th of February is when he got here.
That's what transfer. That's when it happened. And it was at Plaquemines Parish Detention Center. So you had no write-ups at Plaquemines.
No, sir. I never had a write-up.
Okay. There's no way we can check that.
Marabella.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Marabella.
On with the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I saw that in the record, and I had asked Cherie about that because obviously he would have been removed if that was the case. She advised me, she looked into it and advised me that that was an error.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morris.
Thank you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Moore, then let's get into it.
Okay.
You had tons of simple burglaries. You had Miss Nancy Norman was a victim. You ransacked the house, stole jewelry and a pistol. You were caught selling some of her stuff. Matilda Wimberly, you did pretty much the same thing. All of them, you did pretty much the same thing. DNA ID'd you. McAllister, you got $3,700 from a safe. Wayne's Stanel, Bubby's snowball stand, $500 taken. No food and spirit, $8,700 taken. Golden Corral, $13,000 taken. It just goes on and on and on. Why were you doing these burglaries?
So I have no excuse for why I committed those crimes. I wasn't on no drugs. I never had a drug problem. I take full responsibility for all those crimes I've committed. And I'm deeply, deeply sorry for all those crimes I've committed. I have no excuse whatsoever. I can't begin to tell you why I committed those crimes because there was nothing deterring my mental to do those things. But I just never thought that I could spend the rest of my life in jail like in a position to do right, I'm doing right now. Like I don't have no room for error in jail or out of jail. Like I said, sir, I'm deeply sorry for committing those crimes. I have
No drugs, no alcohol problem.
no, sir, I don't even smoke cigarettes, sir.
Okay. Looks like you have two detainers, one of them with the Hammond Police Department, is still active. And then you have one out of Austin, Texas, which they only was going to extradite within the state of Texas. What are those two detainers about? Are they burglary charges also?
This is my first time hearing about a detainer, sir. I've got all my paperwork stating that I don't have a detainer. I have it with me. It's my first time hearing about a detainer, sir.
It was in the pre-throw. You need to check on that.
Yes, sir.
You got an extensive adult record. You've been on supervision 8 times. You've been revoked 4 of those times. And 1 period was terminated unsatisfactorily. I mean, what was your problem under supervision?
I just never could make it through because I kept getting arrested. And that was the problem. I never could make it through because I kept getting arrested. But like I said, sir, the awareness that I have today, because I never spent this much time in jail and I never had a life sentence, basically a life sentence hanging over my head. So the awareness that I have today, it is uncanny. It's just, I just never thought I could be placed in a position like this. I don't have an excuse, and I'm not giving an excuse. I just never thought that I can be placed in a position like this. And being in jail this long, like I said, I've never been in jail this long. Like I have a CDL license. I've been working. I drove for several companies, but there was a warrant that popped up in 2013, which caused me to get fired. And there it went from there, sir. But now the awareness that I have now, and with this time that I have now hanging over my head, is just, I don't have any room for error, because even in jail, if I get a disciplinary, I won't have the opportunity to be free again. Even if I'm free, if I do anything, I have a 20-year sentence. Like it's not going anywhere. So yeah. I'm fully aware of what's at stake, and I have 4 daughters, and I have a family. I'm fully aware of what's at stake.
Let's move on. Understand. Your 4 daughters, do you have any contact with them?
Yes, sir.
How often you speak with them, you would say?
At least 3 times a week.
That's good. Stay in their lives. Looking at the opposition, you have opposition from the sheriff, opposition from the chief of police, opposition from Ms. Wimmerly. That's one of the victims. Ms. Norman, you have opposition from her. We had a lot of no comments. Bobby Snowball, you had opposition from them. Copeland, you had opposition from them. So you got quite a few victims that are opposed, and I believe you can understand why. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely,
you
sir.
disrupted their business, you disrupted their lives. And that's what I want to ask you. What effect do you think you've had on your victims
A tremendous effect,
committing these crimes?
a tremendous effect, a tremendous effect. In retrospect, a tremendous effect, because besides the monetary value is it's just the psychological point of it. If somebody just coming in and just violating your space like that, I understand the magnitude of what I've done. I truly understand the magnitude of what I've done, and I'm truly sorry for what I've done.
Yeah, because it has affected your victims. I mean, you just think about coming home and finding your house ransacked and stuff taken, you know, you paranoid probably forever when you come home, there's somebody in my house, things of that nature. And we have to take all of that into account. Also, I failed to mention, but Mr. Randall Myers, he's on the Zoom, and he will be speaking, but the DA's office is strongly opposed. Transition plan. What would be your transition plan for you to get out? Where you gonna live? Where you gonna work?
My friend, he on a truck. I possess a CDL license. I'm a truck driver, my profession, and my friend, he's on Zoom right now. He's been having a trucking business for the last, I want to say, 15 years. He has a successful trucking business, and he's guaranteeing me immediate employment, and I'll have a paycheck coming in immediately as soon as I get out. If granted, I have an opportunity to be a tax-paying citizen, to be a normal person.
All right. Have you ever held a job on the outside?
Absolutely, sir. I've held several jobs. I'm a veteran. I was in the military. I went to the military straight out of high school.
Yeah, I see that.
And
You were
I've held.
discharged from the military, correct?
Say again, sir?
Weren't you discharged from the military?
Yeah, I had an other than honorable discharge. Yeah, I had 6 months left.
And that was because of criminal activity, wasn't it?
No, it was because of my spouse. Me and her kept getting into it. She kept coming on base, we kept fussing on base.
Okay. All right. You know, you have tons of arrests. I'm not even trying to go through them all. You know, I'll be honest with you, you're what we used to call in probation parole career criminal. I mean, you never go a year or so without being arrested. What's going to be different this time? I mean, I know you keep talking about the time over your head, but you had jobs when you're out there. You had good jobs when you were out there. And you can't tell me why you even committed these burglaries. I mean, what was it? Was it the money? Was it the want to live above your standards? I mean, what caused?
The money. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it was something like, I'm not going to put this on a crutch or anything. I'm just taking full responsibility of what I've done. And if given a chance, like I'll never come back to jail, because like I say, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in jail. I just wasn't aware that this could happen to me. And it happened to me. You know, I have 20 years. I'm 43 years old. It's a life sentence for me. Like my kids, I won't be able to leave my kids anything. I won't ever.
20 years is a life sentence, but you're 43 years old. So that's a life sentence. I think we're all in serious trouble on this board because we're all over 60.
Well, you guys.
So it's not a life sentence, but I do understand you would miss out on a lot. Your classes, have you taken any classes? I think you were enrolled in victim accountability. Are Are you in that class?
Well, I have too much time, so I was removed. I had too much time, so the people who has less time, they get the priority. They get priority.
Run into all the time. Your risk is medium, your needs are moderate. The warden's already given his comments. That's all the questions I have.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from those speaking on your behalf, Mr. Eddie Moore III. Mr. Moore,
Yes, sir. I'm here, present.
would you introduce yourself, sir, and tell us what you'd like us to know?
Name is Eddie Moore. Currently a general manager here in South Florida. I run hotels for a living. I've been doing this for almost 30 plus years. Been knowing Mr. Moore for some time now. I do believe what he states that given a chance, he can right his wrong. I think that in life sometimes we make mistakes. And sometimes when we make those mistakes and we get the opportunity to sit and, in his case, sit in jail for the period of time he's been in jail, to reflect on those mistakes and how those mistakes may have impacted not only your victims' lives, his lives, and family lives. You get to think about those things and try to right those wrongs. And then the older we get more mature. And we make better and wiser decisions. But I am confident in him. I've been talking with him throughout his time in jail and encouraging him, and as well as Mr. Delaney being able to help him in jobs. I'll be able to help him in jobs as well, because I did started my career down in New Orleans. So I have a lot of connections down there when it comes to hotels and stuff like that. I know a lot of people that would help get him employed. If per se, you know, something happened with one of the trucks of Mr. Delaney goes down and he's unable to work. So I'll be there to assist him, to motivate him, and I do believe in him. And because I made I won't sit here and tell you I made all the right decisions in my life, but you know, I made some bad decisions, but I'm still here, and I was able to right my wrongs, and I'm running a $30 million company, so I understand, and I think that this time. He will do the right thing for the sake of his family, his daughter, and just for the sake of himself, the sake of his own self and righting his wrong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moore. We appreciate your comments. We'll now hear from Dana Bickham.
Hi, I'm Dana Bickham. I am here to confirm a residence for Eric once if he is paroled. I've known Eric for over 10 years, and I've seen over the past 3-4 years, speaking and talking with him, his growth, the mental change, and to invite him into my home says a lot. To after the record that he has, to be able to say, okay, you can come live with me. I'm a single woman. I'm doing that because I believe that he has changed. I talk with Eric every single day. And over the past couple years, I have noticed a drastic change, and he would be more than willing. I'm more than willing to let him come here to start his life over, be with his kids, and help him in every aspect that I can.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bickham. We appreciate your comments. Douglas Delaney. Mr. Delaney, can you hear us? You're on mute, sir.
There we go. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm Douglas Delaney. I've been owning a trucking company called Delaney's Trucking for the past 12 years. I've been having a CDL trucking for 15. I've been owning my own company for 12 years. I guarantee Eric Moore work if he re-released, he would immediately go to work, whatever happens that he needs to do to get to that point, even getting his license renewed, whatever it take, I'm gonna be there step by step with him. I've been knowing Eric Moore my whole life. We grew up as kids together. And I'm just listening to him, like they say, from being in the prison he in now. I really think he learned this lesson. And like Mr. Eddie said, I haven't been an honorable person my whole life, but I was also given the opportunity to right my wrongs. And I've been on a straight and narrow for almost 20 years now. So if he granted parole, I'll be here step by step with him and help him throughout whatever he need help out with. But I guarantee him a job though, immediately on release. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. For your comments. Now we'll hear from the opposition. Ms. Nancy Norman. Ma'am, if you just introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
I'm confused because I hear a lot of people that think, you know, done some wrong things and they're doing the right things now. I've never done anything like that. And he paralyzed us. I know it seems small. When I walked in my house, I was certainly alone. And it was that's fine. And he somehow got through our security system. We ended up because and we're putting over $15,000 on our pocket because he took things that were invaluable to us and just will never be back. And their great grandmothers that had passed down children through the family, through my mom, all deceased, have a daughter. She'll never be able to get those. It's gone. And it was a lot. He took a lot of cash, which I'll never do again. I ended up, my husband travels. I don't stay at home anymore. I travel all the time. It's there. It's years later. You walk in a house and you feel like you every time I'm looking, you turn that key and you're waiting to see is everything just everywhere? Is someone in there? You don't know. And I don't know why he keeps saying that he's changed. That's a lot of changing many times, apparently. He's changed a lot. He just keeps saying, I've changed. We were told the first time, we took every motion, 7 motions up through the he came, they asked us, would we be willing to give a plea to him? We agreed. We said, okay. He got offered the plea deal or trial. He took trial and was released to go to Christmas on that house. He ran. We were, I believe, almost 6 years. We were the oldest case on the dock in Jefferson. I don't think he should ever get out until his 20 years. He apparently just scared the heck out of me by saying he wasn't on drugs. So he knew where, he knows where we went. I don't want him back in my church. I don't want him to stay anytime. Please. It's fair. I don't think this is fair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rodney Norman.
Rodney Norman. You know, I feel the same as my wife. Both it's bad. And changed the way I do on the job now, and I have to take my wife with me, which is not inconvenience. It's cost us a lot of money and a lot of time and effort to get a security system that has cameras inside and outside. I live in Jefferson. It's usually a small, quiet community, and for something like this to take place was regretful. I don't think he should be released until he serves 20 years. He was offered a plea deal, and he took it, and now he wants time off again. No, I'm in full opposition.
Thank you very much. Mr. Meyer.
Good morning, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA Jefferson Parish. We are opposed to his request at this time. We feel there's been insufficient time served for the offense that was committed and the amount of money that he stole. And we think that some point, if he's ever released, this board should order that he pay restitution, if any would be owed any of the victims. There's strong victim opposition. He's got very poor supervision when he was under supervision previously. And he's had no programs. That's one of the biggest concerns I have, is the lack of programs that he's had. I believe it's only the victim accountability training, letter training that he's undertaken. And he has a moderate risk assessment. When you look back at his criminal history, it's pretty extensive, and he has quite a few domestic abuse cases over the years, as well as aggravated offenses and batteries. And that's very concerning with the lack of programming to kind of deal with some of those issues. Not completely sure. You asked about his release, his discharge from the Army, and he said it wasn't for theft, it was for some issue with his wife. But looking back at his record, there is an offense, and I don't know why he was discharged. I don't see that in the record. But he does have some theft offenses dealing with the U.S. Army. So for those reasons, we are opposed to his request.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Panel ready to vote? Mr. Freeman? Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Moore, is there anything you'd like to say before the panel votes?
Yeah, I don't know why, it should be that I owe restitution, I'm willing to pay restitution. I never had a theft offense in the military. And like I say, like this time made me aware of everything that's going on with me. And I'm sorry. I mean, if I can give those people everything back in tenfolds, I would. Like I understand. I understand how they feel, and they have the right to feel the way they feel. But if I can do something to rectify this situation with them financially, I am deeply sorry for what I put them through. Like I'm not downplaying this by no means. I am extremely sorry for what I put them through. It was irrational decision that I made doing what I did. I'm just sorry for what I put you guys through, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for what I put you guys through.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Moore, you're definitely very educated
Oh, I'm
person.
sorry, what, Mr. Williams? Where's Mr. Williams? Is Mr. Williams on? Your lawyer, is your lawyer here, Mr. Jim Williams?
He was logged in.
Hi, this is Dana Bickham. He was on, but Mr. Williams called me. He's in and out of court this morning, so that may be why he had to leave the meeting.
Okay. Mr. Freeman, you ready to vote?
Right. So as I was saying, you're very articulate, you're very smart. You have a great job plan, a great residence plan. But the thing that's hanging me up is you've only done 4.8 years on a 20-year sentence. That's less than 25%. Plus you have victim opposition, law enforcement opposition, and you need program. So, put in for all the programming you can, and then reapply when you're eligible. My vote today is to deny.
Is there
Thank
any-
you, Mr.
is there any-
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore,
Yes, sir.
you said in your closing statement that if it was in your power to give the victims everything back tenfold, Remember that?
Yes, sir.
You can never give them back their sense of security. They have lost that forever. Because every time one of your victims walks into their house, they get a flashback. You can never get that back to those victims. Based on a moderate risk assessment, tells us that you have a moderate chance of reoffending. A moderate needs assessment, which tells us that you need programming to rehabilitate yourself. You have no program. Victim opposition, law enforcement opposition, opposition from the DA's office. Insufficient time served. You've only served 24% of your sentence, which is totally insufficient. For all the reasons I've just articulated, I deny your request.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Mr. Moore, you received 2 votes to deny your parole. You know, when Mr. Freeman was initially questioning you, you spent probably 2-3 minutes talking about your remorse. And your remorse was the fact that you were doing 20 years in prison. I never heard you say anything about being remorseful for the crimes that you committed until we started digging and trying to get that out of you. You need more programs. You need to look inside internally to see what it is you've caused to these people. Yeah, you're right. You're doing 20 years. And I'd be worried about having to do that 20 years too. But you haven't the foggiest notion of what you've really done to them. You took victim impact and you kind of quoted some things to us. But your remorse is because you're in prison for 20 years. And I think you really need to do some soul searching before I would vote to grant your parole. So you have 3 votes to deny you today. Good luck to you.
Can you guys by me having so much time, is there any way, can you guys mandate that I get programs?
We can't mandate anything, but we can recommend that you be allowed to take some programs. We'll make that recommendation.
Okay.
Good luck to you, sir.
All right.